Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my November TBR. I don't know how it happened, but we're already at the end of October. Like, time has flown. I feel like it was just summer. I was celebrating like the beginning of fall and now bam, we're almost like in the pre-holiday season. But before Christmas and the end of the year comes near, I am going away on holiday. I'm so excited. I'm going to Egypt for 9 days and I'm so excited. I put together like a TBR for the trip, but now looking at the itinerary, I'm not sure if all of those are really gonna work for that time frame. I'm gonna be away for a good portion of the month, but I still have a couple of weeks when I come back, so of course I still want to do my TBR game and tell you what I'm planning to read during the whole month of November. I know I said I wouldn't like play this game all year round, but I'm kind of invested now and I'm kind of in love with it, so I'm gonna keep going until I don't feel like doing it anymore. But to cozy it up today, I have my coffee and I also have a snack, a little croissant. So go ahead and get yourself a snacky snack as well, get comfortable, and then we're going to start with my TBR game, Just Beat That TBR. Welcome to the next round of Just Beat That TBR. I already set it up, so we have our suspects, we have our murder weapon, and we also have our murder scene. Now let's figure out where we're going to start and what genre our final book will be. The Astronaut, a sci-fi. So we're going to start over here. And now let's find out which weapon we have to reach. Ooh, the wand, free choice, which is great. Which just means that I can then decide which of the other prompts I want to use. The wand is right over here, so we can get there rather quickly. If we want, we can go through the library. That would give us an extra prompt to read a borrowed book, but we'll see once I get there. And once we reach the wand, we then figure out where we're gonna go next, and I'm gonna put this aside for later. So for this round, we got the astronaut and the wand first time around. So that means that our last book is gonna be a sci-fi, and I can choose the format in which I wanna read that sci-fi in. So we're gonna come back to this once I know what the murder scene is gonna be like. This time around, I'm gonna make sure that you guys see what I roll. So here we go, roll number 1. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would be a setting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would be the outside cover. I think I'm gonna go for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a Mr. Body card over here. And that has to do with the length of the novel or the POV. A 4. And a 4 means to use a random number generator. And then we landed on our first prompt, and that was length and POV. And we got number 4, which is to use a random number generator in order to generate a page number and hopefully find a book that is closest in page count to that number as we can. And it took a while. It took a while for me to find it. I mean, I had so many books, funnily enough, that had 416 pages. A bunch, like 4 or 5 books, all 416. Then I thought I would have some, and then when I looked at my copy, it was a different page count. But I did find one, and that is Veronica Roth's Chosen Ones. Don't spoil yourself, but it's $4.19, and after that, it's only the acknowledgements. So this works perfectly. I did not think that I would actually find a book. So happy. This prompt really threw me for a loop because it was so random which book I was gonna get, and I didn't really have any say in the matter if it's gonna work for my plans or not. But this I'm really happy with, because recently I read When Among Crows by the same author and I loved it. This is a little novella. I gave it 5 stars. Really happy about this one, and I've been meaning to get back to her backlist books just to find out if I like them as well. Of course, I read the Divergent series when it came out way back when. I was never really a fan of the ending of that series, but I've been meaning to get back to her books, so this has been on my shelves for quite a while, and now I'm finally gonna get to it. I recently also read So Let Them Burn by Camilla Cole, and I feel like this has a very similar beginning, as in we have chosen ones who have already saved the day, who have done their job, they did what they were supposed to do, and now they're kind of wondering what the rest of their life is going to be like. They have defeated the big bad, and now they are kind of dealing with the aftermath. There's PTSD. I think there's going to be a bit of a darker side of being the chosen one and being known for saving the world. I don't know too much else about what actually is the plot of this, and I don't want to know. I just want to go in. I want to have fun. Veronica Roth has an amazing way of creating her characters that we care for them and just want them to succeed. So I can't wait. Okay, roll number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would get us here. We will not get to the roll again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would need at least 3 rolls to get to the wand, and if I go through here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then it would only take me at least 2. So I think I will go through the library to get to the wand and then pick an extra book for the library. Big roll, big roll. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is a secret passage, which means anything to do with the theme of the book. Let's figure out which prompt I'm going to use. 2. So this has to do with the intended audience, and I'm looking for a young adult book. Next up, we had a secret passage, and that means that I have to find a book for the intended audience, young adults. And I went with the new release that I only just purchased, and that is The Dagger and the Flame by Catherine Doyle. I also have her novel that she wrote with her sister. I still haven't read this one, but that is for another day. This time around, I'm going to read her new release that I think she wrote by herself this time. And this is the first in the City of Phantom series. I'm sorry if you can hear my cat. She chose now is the good time to eat. So I'm not even sure what this is about. And I have to be honest, when I saw this cover, I wasn't really feeling it, like when I was ordering it. But now having it in my hands, I'm kind of into it. I feel like if you look close, there's like a lot of details that I missed when I was just looking at the cover from far away, when I was just looking at the small cover. So I'm kind of feeling this also. I mean, come on. It is a fiery enemies to lovers romantasy, it says, and there is a deadly game of revenge. And I think in this one we have 2 assassins who are kind of going after each other, and of course they don't know that the other one is after them, and one of them is infiltrating the other's headquarters in order to get revenge. I always love a good enemies to lovers trope. I'm more of a fantasy romance reader than a romantasy reader, so I'm hoping that the romantasy part isn't too much. I hope it's not cringe. I hope it's fun. I hope that there's actually like a fantasy plot in it as well. We'll see. Roll number 3. I'm gonna go through here. Let's hope for 1, 2, 3, 4. That way we get to go on the wand. We don't need to get another prompt. And if we have a 5, we could actually land on roll again. That would help us go wherever we need to go in the future. So next roll. Oh, 1. That actually helps us because we actually need to get a borrowed book anyway, so that's perfect. Next, we took a shortcut through the library, and for the library there is the prompt to read a borrowed book. Now for this I'm going to use one of my apps. I have different audiobook apps and I also have Libby, so I'm going to borrow a book from over there. And if you've seen my Egypt TBR video, you know that I might want to read Ink Witch by Lindsay Sparks. I do not have a physical copy of this, but I might borrow it from KU, so that is a possibility, so I can read it while away. But I also kind of want to read The Wren in the Holly Library by K.A. Linde. That one I can actually borrow the audiobook from Next Story, and then I also have The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. Really want to read that as well. Heard nothing but amazing things about it, but the physical copy is kind of expensive, so I'm hoping to just read it via audiobook, so I can also get that one from Next Story. So one of those 3 is gonna get read for this. I think right now I'm gonna put down The Wren in the Holly Library for this because it's the most like spooky season-esque out of the 3. So I feel like beginning of November, maybe even when I'm back from my Egypt trip, like end of November is still gonna be like the spooky season, because I kind of have to carry it over. I'm not gonna have too much more time to read too many spooky books during my time here before I go. When I was doing my October TBR, I kind of miscalculated. I had a lot of arcs on there that didn't really have any like spooky feel to it, so I'm kind of behind on my spooky books. Still have a lot of them over here on my TBR, so I'm hoping to kind of carry them over until I have to read like holiday books, because that time is coming as well. But yeah, for now I'm gonna put down the Ren in the Holiday Library for this prompt. Next roll, 3 or higher, 4. That's actually good. 1, 2, 3, 4. We land on a roll again, and we picked up our murder weapon. Another 4. Let's see. I don't know yet where we're gonna go after this, so let's see if we can get as far away from this corner than we can. So we could go 1, 2, 3, 4 to a genre. We could 1, 2, 3, 4 for a usual suspect. We could also go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it would be a free choice. And then we could of course go 1, 2, 3, 4 usual suspect, 4 usual suspect, or secret passage. That would also mean we need to read a book that we choose using another TBR game, which would actually be fun, because right now I'm playing Becca's Bookathon, so that would actually work really well. It would make more sense to go here, because I don't know yet where I'm gonna go next, so this would make more sense to reach everywhere, but I kind of want to do the living room prompt. So we're gonna do that. 1, 2, 3, and let's go for secret passage or usual suspect. Secret passage. Okay. So we're gonna need to read a book that we choose because of another TBR game. Thankfully, I then picked up my murder weapon and then got on the roll again tile. So I rolled the dice again and I took another shortcut. I was kind of winging it because I didn't actually know where I wanted to go after that. So I just went with it because I kind of wanted to play another Booktubers TBR game inside of my game. It's kind of like Inception. So the living room is actually where people come together, they meet, they play games, and so I thought it would be fun to use another Booktubers TBR game in order to find a prompt. And since we're still in October, I played Becca's Spookathon, and I just started from where I left off during my October TBR, because I haven't actually rolled any more prompts during October. So I then rolled again, and this is what I got. So we got our Spookathon board. Last time I landed on Spooky, so let's start from there. And this time around I actually have 2 die. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Most recent purchase. That is perfect. So I got most recent purchase, and that would actually be the Dagger and the Flame, but I already used this one. So I'm gonna go for another one that I got in October. I'm kind of still debating between these two. Again, spooky season, I will just go ahead and read some more spooky things, but these are kind of more spoopy, if you know what I mean. So this is from an author that I've read and loved before, Jen DeLuca, Haunted Ever After. And if you look closer, you see like a little ghosty in the window, so that's just cute. Also, this seems like a very like hot setting, so I don't feel like it's gonna be too off if I read this maybe in Egypt. It's also just over 300 pages, so I think it should be a quick read, and I just love her banter and her romances. If I don't feel like reading a romance, I might just go for this one. This is more like a murder mystery with supernatural beings where a librarian is trying to solve murders, and maybe it has to do something with a demon. So even though I actually liked the other cover more, I took this one because it's floppy. And if I have to choose between a cute cover, I mean this is cute as well, but a cuter cover or floppy, I think I'm gonna go with floppy because I think the other one is not. So it's one of these two. And I think I'm gonna put this on my TBR officially, but I'm also hoping to read this in November. So many books, so little time. And next we're gonna read a book that has a special theme. Let's figure out which prompt I'm gonna use. The third one. And the third one is, it is set in the past. Next up, we landed on another secret passage, and this time around it's all about time. And we got the prompt to read a book that is set in the past. Now, that actually works out perfectly because when I'm in Egypt, I'm going to read the sequel to What the River Knows by Isabel Ibáñez, and I'm going to read the arc that I have for Where the Library Hides. This comes out, I think, on the 7th of my October TBR. I still have, I think, 2 or 3 books that I need to read, but I still have a week to go, so I might still get to them, hopefully. You'll have to see my wrap up to find out. And since last month I had so many arcs and digital copies of whatever I was reading, I was hoping to kind of get a lot of backlist titles and physical copies that I have on my TBR for November, just to like mix it up and not only read on my e-reader or on my phone. So that's kind of where I went with this one. Of course, set in the past, this actually works better for my arc. Now that we got the wand, we actually can figure out where we need to go in order to slay our TBR, and that is the reading nook. The best thing about these subscription boxes are still the books. Read a book that you got in a subscription box. And that actually means that I made the perfect choice by going through the living room, because the reading nook is right here. There's the door. I only need to go right here to finish the game for today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't make it this time around, but let's see how far I'll get. 5. That's good. So I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Mr. Body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a weapon, so for a format of my choosing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for genre. I think that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a free choice. But I think I want to get as close to the reading nook as possible in case I only roll once after this one. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mr. Body. And it's the title. Oh, I think we had that last time. Let's figure out which prompt I'm going to use. 5. At least not the same as last time. And that is to get a book that has a title with a number in it. And then we landed on a Mr. Body prompt, and for that we needed to find a book that had a number in the title. And for a hot second I was kind of worried, but I am reading The Haunting of Tramcar 015 from P. Jelly Clark in Egypt. I just got this, so I guess this would be my most recent purchase actually. And it is small. It is 130 pages. There isn't really a lot of text on the pages, so I'm gonna fly through this. But I am currently reading the first little short story that's 45 pages in October, just to get a feel for the world building, and then I'm gonna take this one with me, and maybe if I have an hour at the pool I can just read this. In this one we are actually in Cairo, so I'm hoping that I can actually read this when I'm in Cairo, because we are then going to Aswan and Luxor as well. In this one we have a kind of different world than ours, because some time ago there was a break to a different dimension, and now there are jinns and angels and other supernatural beings in our world. And so of course that all changes and everything is pure chaos. And I think in every one of these we have kind of a murder mystery happening, and a detective is kind of looking into them. So don't want to know too much else of this, and I'm guessing it has to do with a tram car. These are over here. So thankfully this works out perfectly for that prompt. Okay, I only needed 2 to finish this game. Let's go ahead and do that. Yes, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm in the reading nook, and that is where my TBR will get slayed. And the last book that I need to read is a sci-fi that I got in a subscription box. And then the format I can actually decide on my own, which would make sense for a hardcover because of the reading nook prompt. But right now I don't think I got any sci-fi from a subscription box. So that might be a problem. I might need to split these to finish my game. Let's see. And then we made it to our murder scene so that TBR can get slayed. And so we actually ended up with the astronaut, the wand, and the reading nook. The reading nook being that I have to read a book that came from a subscription box. Now, this isn't actually the perfect outcome for me. I mean, it was because it was right there, so I didn't have to go far on the board. But I mean, I'm happy for the wand because I can choose whatever format I want, which is basically like if I'm looking at subscription boxes, it's mostly hardcover. So I'm gonna go with the coffee prompt, read a hardcover. But it is difficult to get like a science fiction hardcover book in a subscription box. I first thought the only one that I had is Some Desperate Glory, which is a book that I've already read and really enjoyed. But then I remembered that I also got Brandon Sanderson's Skyward in a subscription box. Yeah, it was a fairy loot and it came in, I don't know, some time ago. So it's been on my TBR for a while. Now, do I really want to read this in November? Not really. So I'm kind of debating if I should split the 3 prompts up and get different books for them. I can do that. It would be perfect to get like one book that fits all 3 prompts, but it's not gonna work every time. It would for this, but I would rather have 2 books on my TBR that I really want to get to instead of one where I'm kind of like, ugh, hopefully I don't get to that one. And then have it just stay on my TBR because I do want to try and finish my TBRs. Now, I have heard good things about this. I read from Brandon Sanderson before. Some I liked, some I was kind of like meh about. I think I started this once at some point and read like a chapter and wasn't really feeling it, or like I wasn't inclined to continue. So I'm kind of want to put this away. I mean, I might feel like it and then I will pick it up, but actually, if I'm looking at science fiction, I have 2 other books that I would feel more inclined to read at the moment, and that are these 2. This one I mentioned also in my TBR for Egypt video, so go check that out. That is Cities of Smoke and Starlight by Ali Ernest. The author kind of compares this to the romances of Anastasia and the Mummy movies, as well as the adventure story of Atlantis and Treasure Planet. All of those are buzzwords for me. Amazing, wanted, have high expectation now for this, and so I'm hoping to read this in November. The other sci-fi that I was thinking about is Still the Sun by Charlie Ann Holmberg. I love this author. I love everything that she does. She has so amazing stories, all different, all different world building, different magic, different characters. It's amazing what she can do, and I already have the next installment of the Wimbrel House. The next one is coming out next year. I already have the arc for that, but I still have this on my TBR, and this is actually a sci-fi. It's set on a sun-baked planet, so I feel like this would work perfect to take with me to Egypt because yeah, and I don't really want to know anything else. It's short, it's gonna be fun. I love her stories, like I said, so it's between these 2. And then for the Book Nook prompt of reading a book subscription box, I would actually go with The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. Again, I mentioned this in my TBR video for Egypt. I have the ebook for this. If I don't get to it then, I might get to it when I come back. This is not set in Egypt, but it is set in a desert and it has a very fun vibe. This is kind of a retelling of 1001 Nights. Again, high expectations. I've heard good things. So I think that's the way to go. And I think because this is such a chunky book that I think just vibes is gonna be this in Egypt. So I think I'm gonna put these 2 on for my Book Nook prompt to read a sci-fi and also a book subscription box that has a format that I can choose, which is paperback or hardcover. So an extra book, but that's fine because the board has been nice to me this time around. So this is my TBR for November. I love the color scheme. This plus the ebook for Where the Library Hides, as well as a library book that is probably the run in the Holly Library. A lot of libraries. So 3 libraries in this TBR. I love it. I can't get enough. Yeah. happy for this TBR. Let me know down in the comments if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. Let me also know what are your reading plans for the coming month. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already. I have so much fun video content planned for you. I totally forgot to drink my coffee and eat my croissant. Still here, so I'm gonna do that. I will see you guys next time, and until then I hope you have all the great reads. Bye!